Michelangelo was born March 6, 1475, in Caprice, Italy. His father worked as a Florentine government agent for a short period of time. His family moved back to Florence before Michelangelo was a month old. Michelangelo's mother died of a chronic illness when he was 6 months old. Even as a young child, Michelangelo was drawn to art, but his father considered this pursuit below the family's social status and tried discouraging him. However, Michelangelo prevailed and worked as an apprentice at the age of 13 for Domenico Ghirlandaio, the most fashionable painter in Florence at the time. After only a year, Michael was chosen to attend the Medici family's Humanist Academy, and this is where his journey began in creating beautiful artwork. After studying under the famous sculptor Bertoldo de Giovanni, who exposed him to the great classical sculptures in the Palace of Lorenzo.
Being well known as a great painter and sculptor has its benefits, as Michelangelo's fame was spread far much so that he was commissioned to make art pieces by various wealthy men, and his services were also requested a couple of times by the Roman Catholic Church. His works depict a lot of effort put into the realistic and vibrant looks which most of his artworks had, and his intellect was shown in his works, as some of his pieces are noted to be nearly technically perfect, an impressive feat that continues to baffle art scholars even to this day. Due to his innovation in archaeology, many buildings were helped shaped by him, making him responsible for some of the important structures in Florence, which includes the Basilica in Florence. His works also had a lot of relationship with nature, and he was noted to design buildings with more pleasing proportionality than the architects before his time.
David is a masterpiece of Renaissance sculpture created in marble between 1501 and 1504. The statue represents the biblical hero David, a favorite subject in the art of Florence. It focused on balance, harmony, and ideal form. The size is significant because it was the first time that a large-scale nude statue was made in the Renaissance since antiquity. The Madonna of Bruges is a marble sculpture by Michelangelo of Mary with the child Jesus. Michelangelo's depiction of the Madonna and the child differed significantly from earlier representations of the same subjects, which tended to feature a pious virgin smiling down on an infant held in her arms. Bacchus is one of Michelangelo's early works and shows the Roman god of wine. It was created in 1496. The figure suggested both the slenderness of a young man and the fleshiness and roundness of a woman. The Torment of Saint Anthony is the first known painting by Michelangelo. The subject of the painting is from the life of Saint Anthony the Great. It depicts the vision that he had been suspended in the air and then attacked by demons because he was able to withstand their temptations.
One of the drawings that I will be talking about is the Sistine Chapel. The Sistine Chapel was a drawing that was created by Michelangelo, and it was the most popular in the High Renaissance age from 1508 to 1512. And it was built in the Vatican City from the ages of 1477 to 1480 by Pope Sixtus X, for whom the chapel who was named. The Sistine Chapel was made for several importances and was made for papal services as well as conclaves. The second drawing that I'll be talking about was The Last Judgment. The Last Judgment was also drawn by the Italian artist Michelangelo, covering the whole altar wall, and it was the majority of the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican City. It is a depiction of the second coming of Christ and is the final and eternal judgment of God for all humanity. Altogether, there are 300 figures, the majority being the males, and angels who were originally shown as nudes and later on covered in draped clothing. Overall, the work took over 5 years, from 1536 to 1541. And began working on it after 25 years of working on the Sistine Chapel, and was nearly 67 at its completion. Michelangelo originally accepted the commission from Pope Clement V or the 11th, but it was completed under the power of Pope Paul III, whose stronger reforming views affected the final treatment.